Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are at the fag end of the text, the last class today, and the messages are very powerful, as you know. It's pure Advaita Vedant, and it is really Makarand, is the honey of non-duality. And even having this kind of background knowledge, it may not be a realization as yet, but having the background knowledge is very useful in life. Anything comes up in life, you always have the sense of, well, but in myself I'm complete. I'm verily that, which is the essence of God. I am pure consciousness. This itself is very strength giving. So it helps us handle the ups and downs of life. And there's a kind of, you feel a serenity within yourself when you have this sense of identity. And if we don't have this sense of identity, really, the mind can remain very restless in the midst of the vicissitudes of life. So this knowledge is always helpful in whatever measure of realization we have. It is saving knowledge. It gives inner strength, it gives stability, it gives calmness. Under any circumstance, I should be able to say this. I may not experience it, but I know I am that. And if you go deeper and see, you are experiencing only through that. So you are experiencing. It's not that we are not experiencing. Only thing is, it must go deep within. You must drive it deep within yourself, so that the mind starts thinking in terms of that. This knowledge is not of the mind, but it strengthens the mind from within. So knowing this, we can utilize this knowledge. Otherwise, see, a lot of life, it's waste of energy due to so many things you can't resolve in your mind. All these drives which you can't handle, compulsive ways of living, brooding, and then finally dying in an unsatisfied state. So you may know the story of, let me tell you a nice story before I go into today's text. This story is similar to the story which Thakur used to say, about that the tiger who identified himself with sheep because he grew up with them. It's something similar to that. This is a story of an eaglet. So it seems the mother eagle hatched 2 eggs. She actually laid 2 eggs on a thatched roof. And it so happened that one of those eggs rolled down and fell into a hen coop. And when she realized that she had lost one egg, she carried the other egg somewhere. This happened in a Himalayan forest. Okay, so there was a hill in which there was a thatched hut, and the mother eagle happened to lay her eggs on that thatched roof and lost one of the eggs. So she carried the other egg to a better place, and there the egg hatched, and an eagle was born. But what happened to this egg which rolled down into the hen coop? It so happened that the hen which were around there, the chicken, they thought it is their egg. And they also, provided it with warmth, and after some few days, the egg hatched, and out came a little eaglet. Only thing is, all the chicks there were yellow in color, and this fellow was black. And his beak was curved. He looked different, he looked bigger, but they all thought, well, he's one of us. Only he's black, so what? We don't know how they see black, okay? So anyway, they mistook him for one of their own, okay? So he also was looked upon as a chick, and he went about just like the other chick, picking at seeds and following their mother, and he did the same things which the little chicks did. And the hen was very proud of her family, and every day she would take them. Now there was a kind of fence around the hen coop, So they were only allowed to go till the fence and come back because they were little chick, they can't get lost. So the mother hen trained them to do all that. And then she found that her black chick grew very fast, and her other chicks were growing slowly, but this one gulped up all the seeds and whatever she provided. So this life went on, and in just a few months, now this black chick was so huge. He looked like another bird. And but the mother hen was very proud that, you see, my he's my firstborn, and he's so big and so nice and so strong. And he also, now you see, that eaglet started looking upon himself as a chicken. He had no idea who he was. Okay, and then one day it so happened that he thought, what is this barrier of a fence? And he just hopped into outside the fence. The other chicks knew they couldn't see, they were chicken, no? They turned back. They couldn't cross the fence because mom had told them they couldn't cross the fence. So they came back. But he hopped across, and then he went further away, and he came to a cliff. Now that cliff was overlooking a whole valley and the hills all around, just like here you'd see. It was just like that. And from that cliff, he saw clearly the blue sky and the mountains around him, carpeted with forests. And he was so excited. He was so delighted. You see, what a beautiful spot I live in. And then he gazed at the vast sky. And there he saw a lone eagle flying. It was his brother. It was his brother who grew up in a different place, and now he had learned to fly. Hmm. And then he suddenly thought, oh, see how nicely he is flying, but I can't. I'm a chicken. I can't fly. But look at him, how he's enjoying life. And then he brooded over his fate and came back. Now this started happening every day. Every day he would hop off the fence to see the eagle flying, and go to the cliff, and then every day his brother would be flying. And it was such a wonderful sight for this eaglet, because he thought he's a chicken, and he's now yearning to be like that. And he would see him, how calmly he is flying across, and his beautiful wings. Every day he would admire, appreciate, bow down to the glory of flying, and then turn back brooding that why had I to be born as a chicken. And every day his mother told him, you're a chicken, don't cross the fence, it's dangerous, don't go to the cliff. She didn't know what he had seen that lured him every day. And then one day, what happened was, he got so inspired by that eagle flying up there, that he started praying, oh Lord, oh Lord, give me also wings to fly. Help me to fly. He already has the wings. He doesn't know. Huh? And every day his mother is telling him, you can't fly, so don't go out there. If you fall off the cliff, what will happen? See, this is how we are. And this is what we are told. And then it so happened months turned into years. Every day he's admiring the bird and he can't do anything. And then it so happened, whatever the lifespan of an eagle, 8-9 years. And then now he's old. He's an old eagle. And he has never flown. And every day he only sees his brother flying. And then, you see, when he became really old and he couldn't even go till the cliff, one day he came to the cliff with great difficulty, and he prayed to God intensely, oh Lord, in my next life, make me an eagle. Don't make me a chicken, make me an eagle. And he toppled over the cliff and he died while still seeing that bird flying. Sorry for the anticlimax, but this is what happened. He died. Now, this story is telling us this is how most of us live. Being the eagle, we think we are chicken. We appreciate great virtues, great qualities, the divine glory, everything. But we never think that is me. I am also like that. I can become like that. Not just become like that, I already have that within me. I can do it. If he had only believed he's an eagle, but everyone around him told him you're a chicken. Same thing happening with us. Everybody telling us we are chicken. You can't do this, you can't do that. Especially for women, really bound. Now only they are sort of tasting of freedom, and that is why you see this effusion of energy in various ways. If we were told right from the beginning, you are not a chicken, you are an eagle, you would really be flying. All Vivekananda used to say, all strength, all glory, all power is already within you. You are the eagle. Only you have to manifest it, that's all, by believing you are that. By believing you're that and just not hearing what people say about you, that's all. In our own little circumstances of life, please check this out and see to what extent you are made to believe you're a chicken. So this is what Swamiji wanted. He would say, the future will see the masses living Vedant and it will come through women. That was the faith he had. Only then will these shackles of silliness, body consciousness and strong sense of your identity being invested in a body and mind will go. Even if you just think about it, it's liberating to the mind, that you are the self, the infinite, ever pure, ever effulgent glory of the light of God. That is what we are, the essence of consciousness. And you are feeling it all the time, only you are using it for empowering your body and mind and identifying with it. That is the mistake we are making. So if you have assumed you're the chicken, even if you have the equipment to be an eagle, you won't be an eagle. But a whole life you are appreciating the eagle. That's why, Swamiji would say, stop seeking God. See God. He's already there. No, I only want to worship God because I know I am such a small being. This is all delusion. Check it out and see. But, a real spiritual breakthrough is required for us to fully turn over to that. Until then, this lingering effect of our ignorance. I am this and I am that. This will remain. Spiritual experience penetrates through all the 5 koshas. So it goes beyond your intellect. And that is why it will give you the complete conviction. This is the real freedom and empowerment that every woman is actually looking for. Actually, they are looking for this, but they are, you may be looking at the eagle, but because you think you're the chicken, many other things we are doing. Trying to assert that freedom and empowerment in silly ways, isn't it? Look at today's society. So where exactly freedom lies, strength lies, empowerment lies, we should first understand that. We should first understand that. So it is far beyond the silliness of body consciousness, mind consciousness, manhood, womanhood, beyond all that. So once we establish ourselves in Vedant, this inner strength will come. Such clarity will come. We will not mess up things in our life. So this is why these Vedantic stories, Thakur used to say a similar story, isn't it? Totapuri, Thakur and Swamiji, they all have spoken of that story. So somewhere the Guru must come and show us our real face. And you must invest in that knowledge. Give time, energy, give your intelligence there. Keep to these scriptures. One fine day, the realization comes, awakening comes. Until then, at least the attempt should be there, isn't it? If you have to pray, pray for strength, pray for clarity. There's nothing like knowledge to liberate. And all this emotional melodrama of our lives, put it down deliberately. Because many of the questions which come to me are along these lines. That's why now I use this language. Yes. I can't do, but I am like this, and after all, I'm a woman. Stop saying all that. Okay, now we'll go into the next verse. 24th, right? No, not 26th. 24th. 24th we finished yesterday. Ahameva Sukham we finished, right? Yes. So 25. Nahi nana swarupam syadekam vastu kadachana tasmad akhanda evasmi vijaha jagatim bhidam. A single thing can certainly never have multiple essential natures. Therefore, forsaking the distinctions pertaining to the world, I am indeed indivisible. Look at the constant assertion of the pure self. A single thing can never have multiple essential natures, right? Intrinsic property can be only one. So what is the intrinsic property of every being? It is the glory of the self. I am that luminous consciousness itself. See, to many of these girls, in the classes in the village, from the Pangot village, in the classes we will tell them this. Okay, give some story, tell them something like this. But they will come back to, but after all, I am this. Now, why does the mind do that? That is why some such logical understanding must come. A single thing can never have multiple properties or natures, essential natures. Intrinsic property is only one, and it is that we are consciousness. We are of the nature of existence and bliss, driving this deep into the mind, so that but does not come. Therefore, forsaking the distinctions pertaining to the world, I am indeed indivisible. So, forsaking the distinctions pertaining to the world. So, see, for some time it may feel like I have a double identity. I'm one thing to the world, but to myself I'm saying another thing during my sadhana. It may appear like that, but please see, even the identities you wear in the transactional world, they themselves are so ephemeral, transitory, isn't it? Nothing permanent about them. You may be playing the role of a boss in your office. At home, you know who's the boss. And in your office also, it's a temporary role you're playing, isn't it? It will change. So all roles that we play are all assumed, and they will change. There is nothing permanent about them. So you need not invest much attention in them. What is our permanent, unchanging identity, our intrinsic nature? We will invest into that. By doing that, you will become so powerful that you will play all roles very well. Don't worry. All roles can be played well if I am sure of who I am. So, forsake the distinctions made by the world as regards you. I am indeed indivisible. The indivisible reality of the self. This is what I am. This is what he's saying. Many times, this is where the confusion lies. See, our role or identity in the world may become very important. Whenever we are aiming at, career fulfillment and a good job and settling well in your career, these roles may become very important for the time being. How is it that we distinguish these things? See, now suppose you have 2 kids and you also have a job. Now you want to grow in your job because career is very important for a woman. She wants to climb the ladder of success in her particular role, and yet there are 2 kids. How are you going to balance all this? Your kids require your attention. Now you see, in all these roles that we play, if there is self-knowledge, a certain standing in spirituality, you unleash inner power. All these blocks and compulsive habits and psychic blocks, which impede even our growth in the material world, these are removed. So then you can play all these kinds of roles very well. And at the same time, because you become a powerful being, I told you, knowledge translates into power in the vital system. When you are a powerful being, you will radiate that level of confidence. So you are giving a spiritual education to your children unconsciously, because you have become that kind of a being. And in your job front, you are the natural leader, a refined body mind complex, radiating this kind of knowledge. You will naturally succeed. Many of these courses being offered in universities are on leadership, and there we actually give how spirituality contributes to real leadership. Spirituality contributes to it. The charisma of a leader comes from deep inner conviction, deep inner confidence. Now, where can you be confident? Tell me. In the body? In the mind? They are all so chanchal. You can be confident in the self. So when that is why they say that this swadharma, when you stick to it, when your actual real inner dharma is fulfilled, every other dharma is fulfilled around you. This is the way to develop inner strength and confidence. Leadership qualities and self-confidence, playing different roles and playing them very well, without agitation, without negativity. A spiritual personality will play every role well. That particular dharma in that situation has to be fulfilled. You will be a very good mother, you will be a very good wife, you will be a very good on your job front also, whatever you're doing. You will be a powerful teacher if you're a teacher. And you will be a really, really good professional, whatever you are doing. Because your attention is in your hands. Actually speaking, the science of consciousness empowers all your faculties, whether it is focus, concentration, emotional intelligence, and self-management. When all these are empowered, obviously you're going to play every role very well, isn't it? Brahma Vidya Sarva Vidya Pratishtham, the basis of every other Vidya. As a student, Vivekananda used to say this, if a student thinks he is the Atman, he will be a better student. An engineer thinks he's an Atman, he will be a better engineer. How? This is how. It empowers all these faculties. And without this knowledge, I'm telling you, the faculties become weak over time. Yes, you lose focus, concentration, isn't it? Memory becomes, you only develop what is called emotional memory, which means only things which have invoked emotion remain in your memory. The rest is wiped out. It recedes into the subconscious and unconscious. But with consciousness, when you awaken inner consciousness, your memories are strengthened. And there are only positive memories in the mind. Because you understand the value of the empty mind. You will shake off all negativity. Compulsive habits of mind will break down. So your focus and concentration levels are very high. Emotional intelligence will develop. You know how to carry your mind. And so behavior, emotions, everything will be sweet. Won't you be a natural leader this way? Mind management will naturally come. Self-management will be there. Now you are a spiritual leader. See, this is the leadership of the future, I'm telling you. It has been the leadership of the past also. The spiritual leaders have been the most, you can say, powerful leaders of humankind. The transformations which a Buddha brought about, who else brought about, tell me? Such a sattvic overhauling of society. The coming of a Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, they inspire generations. Any military or business or political leader can do that. Why? Spirituality overhauls you from within and makes you such a powerful personality. So it is important to do this with ourselves. That's why spiritual knowledge should go hand in hand with education. This is what Vivekananda meant when he said religion is the core of the educational process. You develop from within, not from outside. Then you see the next one. Parokshata parichheda shabalya apoha nirmalam. Tat Asi iti gira laksham ahameka rasam maha. It means I am great of one essence, the pure one implied by the scriptural statement that thou art Tat Tvam Asi, by eliminating the conditioning factors of remoteness and limitation. Now, what is the meaning of eliminating the conditioning factors of remoteness and elimination? See, our sense of individuality, because it has gone uninvestigated, we have a sense of you're quite remote from the truth of your being, because individuality appears very real to the mind, not to the self. And gradually, as life unfolds, you understand its limitations also. Yes, that's why, after 50, usually people feel tired. They feel they have understood their limitations and they feel exhausted and we attribute it to age. Actually, after 50, you should blossom forth more younger than you were. You know why? If you have renewed your vital energies, your intelligence, and by this knowledge of awareness, by diving deep into awareness, the entire system will get renewed. You will become younger, I'm telling you. Not older. Yes, age doesn't matter. Your inner touch of awareness is what matters. That's why yogis don't appear to age. Have you seen this? They are always fresh because the mind is in touch with something else. If you stay limited to the body, mind, and a sense of individuality invested only in the body, mind, you will feel the pull of exhaustion after some time. You will get exhausted, wilted. This is what happens. With the touch of awareness, the mind remains ever fresh, and that will reflect in the body. So our capacities only increase with age if there is the touch of awareness. Otherwise, we are bogged down. When you identify only with material nature, matter will bog you down. So this is what he is saying. I am of the very essence of the pure one, implied by the scriptural statement that thou art. Have you heard of this? Tat Tvam Asi? It's a Mahavakya. Which Upanishad? Chandogya Upanishad. Many times it is said there. 9 times. Tat Tvam Asi Shvetaketu. You are that. You are that. And you are not merely the body and mind. So briefly, I'll go into that story where this comes. And what does this kind of an assertion do? It's not just an assertion, it is the touch of consciousness within you. It will keep the mind fresh, the body fresh, and so you get rid of your limitation and remoteness from reality. Yes. And this self-composure, which means you are at peace with your inner being, this will come. So a natural calmness, steadiness within, that will get manifested. This is what, see, these Mahavakyas are very, very powerful, pithy statements, you can say, from the Upanishads, which are pointing directly to your real unchanging nature. There are 4 Mahavakyas. Aham Brahmasmi, Tat Tvam Asi, Prajnanam Brahma, and Ayamatma Brahma. They are all scattered in the Upanishads. And all of them mean the same thing. This Atman is verily Brahman. You are that. You are that. You are not this little individual. You are appearing as this individual, but in your essence, you are that. Dive within yourself, you will know that. They all are saying the same thing. Now, these 4 Mahavakyas were used in such a way that just the dwelling on the Mahavakya can send a very ripe student into the state of Brahmanhood. Don't think now realization of Brahman means I stay absorbed in that only. Whatever you do, you don't lose the knowledge of Brahman. Maybe you gained it through meditation, okay, or inquiry, or by some method. But that doesn't mean that you will lose that knowledge of Brahman now if you're not doing that. Because you see, it's your identity has gone to that level, no? It's the knowledge of I. Will you ever lose it? There's that funny story between Janaka and Ashtavakra Muni. You know, in Uttarakhand, they'll tell you this story. Once Ashtavakra enters, you know Ashtavakra, na? He's a Brahmagnani. Janaka is a Raja Rishi. Okay? And once when Ashtavakra enters into Janaka's palace room, they were actually good friends. Okay? Initially, they were like student and teacher, but then they were very good friends, so lots of jokes between the two of them. So when he enters, he sees Janaka is sitting and saying, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmas, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. So constantly he is bringing that into his mind. Ashtavakra says, well, let me also chant something. So his water pot is there, his Kamandalu. This is my water pot, this is my water pot, this is my water pot. Then Janaka says, of course it's your water pot. Why are you chanting that? Then he says, of course you are Brahman. Why are you chanting that? Your own nature is that. No, you'll never lose that knowledge. So once you get it forever. In whatever ignorance may come, you will know that that is not me. That is the power of knowledge. It liberates instantly. Now you see this Tat Tvam Asi Mahavakya comes in Chandogya Upanishad. There's a very interesting story there. It is the story of Shvetaketu. Shvetaketu is a young boy who is the son of a rishi called Uddalak. Now this child is very bright, so Uddalak Muni thinks that I will send him for the best education. So he sends him to another ashram, to another rishi to complete his education. So this boy goes there and he learns all that was available at that time. The entire Vedic lore, the Upanishads, and then this, all these texts, the etymology, grammar, astrology, everything that was available at that time, he learns all of that. And now after a few years, he is back home with his father. The father is now very proud. My son has finished his education and come. But he notices, unfortunately, this boy has become proud. Now he's arrogant. He feels I am now the best educated, Oxford educated, Cambridge educated lad of his time. He feels like that. And so he's very proud, going about with a lot of pride. And then the father feels that now I should teach him. Vidya dadati vinayam vinayat yati patratam. The real proof of knowledge is deep humility. I told you, the more you know, the more you will know how less we know. Knowledge is like a vast ocean. You pick up one handful of water and you say, I know. This is all we are doing. So the more you know, you will only know this much, how little we know amongst all that there is to know. So and vinayat yati patratam. If there is vinay, you get the real, you become fit for real knowledge. Without humility, you will not get that. What is humility? Humility means unself-conscious. Not acting humble. It means within yourself, you are unself-conscious. So you're open to knowledge. You have a clear mind. If there is humility, there will be clarity. If there is no humility, there will only be confusion here. And so you have pride. A humble being is an empty being. And that's why there is real knowledge there. It will reflect real knowledge. So now this boy has to be taught a lesson. So Uddalak calls him to himself and he says, Look, my son, I have something to discuss with you. Hmm. Do you know that one thing, knowing which you know all these different categories of objects which you now know? See, he's pointing to the very essence of knowing, the process of knowing. What is the essence of that? He will now tell him that. He picks up a lump of clay from the ground, the father, and tells Shvetaketu, see, if I know this one lump of clay, I will know everything that I can make out of this clay. You can make so many things out of clay, no? That in those days, that was the main thing. They used to make utensils. So you can make a pot, a ladle, a spoon, everything you can make out of clay. But fundamentally, I should know the clay. I should know how to work on the clay. And I should know the clay to make it into anything else. So do you know that one essence, knowing which you know everything in this universe? And Shvetaketu says, what is that, father? I don't know anything like that. I never learnt anything like that. And then the father says, you sit here, my son. There is one essence of existence. If you know that, you will know everything in this world. See, you may be seeing a pot, but actually it is only clay, isn't it? We'll stop the story here to understand what he is trying to say. Is there anything called potness apart from clay? Tell me. Is there any real identity to a pot? Potness apart from clay? The pot is only clay in a particular formation to which you have given a name and so a sense of identity. See, name and form contribute to our false sense of identity. It is clay only there, appearing as a pot. So also, there is consciousness only there, appearing as a human being, appearing as a plant, appearing as a mountain. There is only one thing. And appearances are many. So now I can say that that pot is nothing but a manifestation of clay. I can say that, isn't it? The ladle or the spoon, it's nothing but a manifestation of clay. The wave or bubble is a manifestation of water. Your ornaments are manifestations of gold. Color is a manifestation of electromagnetic radiation. You are a manifestation of Brahman. Yes, that is the real you. You are nothing but Brahman manifested as this particular Jivatma, individual. So don't think too much of your individuality. Think of your essence. This is what he is telling him. And Tat Tvam Asi Shvetaketu, that essence verily you are. Again and again he says, Tat Tvam Asi Shvetaketu, you are verily that. You are not the pot and ladle, you are the clay itself. You are the water itself, not the wave. So this he is driving home to the mind of that youngster, that you are the essence of existence itself, and you are not merely the manifestation. So then he further goes on. Now Shvetaketu is very interested in this knowledge because it is to do with me. See, self-knowledge, that is the beauty of it. You give it enough thought, you will find it the most interesting subject because it is to do with me, isn't it? Now Shvetaketu says, okay, tell me more about this. So the father says, you see that Nyagrodha tree, that's the people tree. In India it's so famous, isn't it? So that huge Nyagrodha tree is right before you, the father says. Now go, my son, get me a fruit from that tree. So he brings a fruit. He climbs the tree, brings a fruit. And now the father says, okay, now you cut it into two. Cut it further. And then finally when they come to the seeds, the father says, cut that also. Go to the minutest level. And then finally Shvetaketu says, now I can hardly see anything. Then the father says, see, this which you are saying, you can hardly notice anything now. That holds the power, the potential to manifest as this huge tree. The essence of the seed is unmanifest. But it has manifested as, it has that potency to make this tree, so also that which you hold in your heart is unmanifest. It is consciousness, but it has the potency to manifest as life, as you. Tat Tvam Asi Shvetaketu, you are that essence. It is unmanifest, and you appear to be manifest, but it is that which is manifesting you. So you are essentially consciousness. You may not see it. Can you see it? Consciousness? Can you hear it? You can smell it, touch it? But it is there, and it is manifesting as you. Tat Tvam Asi Shvetaketu, you are verily that. See how nicely he is pointing out. Because all science thinks only if you can touch and see and hear, then it is there. He is telling him, no. That which is enabling you to see and hear and touch, that is your essence. That is consciousness. Very beautiful, this conversation between father and son. So many such are there scattered in the Upanishads. Then Shvetaketu is now really convinced. He says, yes, father, that which is unmanifest is the cause for that which is manifest. I didn't realize this. Then the father says, oh, now my son, you get me a bowl of water. So then the water has, he brings, those days again, clay bowls of water. And then he says, add a pinch of salt to it. Then he says, now you see, can you see the salt in the water? No, the salt has dissolved in the water. So you see the top, taste the water and see the top is salty, the middle is salty, the lower portion is salty. See, the salt has completely pervaded the water and made it salty. So also consciousness pervades this manifest existence and makes it conscious from within. That's how you are appearing as a conscious entity. O Shvetaketu, Tat Tvam Asi. But you are essentially that which has pervaded your entire system and made you appear as a living entity from within, conscious from within. So also this tree, so also this mountain. I told you, it is all conscious. Only the mountain has no mind to manifest consciousness as awareness. So it appears to be insentient to you, not to the Brahmagnani. And this tree appears to have just some amount of life energy. Again, because the equipment is not reflecting the consciousness it has. So it is existing to some extent, it is conscious, according to us, isn't it? J.C. Bose proved it is also living, but not as a human being, not fully conscious. We have a well-developed brain and nervous system, a mind which reflects consciousness fully, almost fully, so we appear to be fully conscious entities. This is the only difference between the sentient and insentient. See what great lessons in the Upanishads. They are looking at life in a totally different way. And then he says, and that is why that essence, Tat Tvam Asi Shvetaketu, you are verily that. And many more such stories are there. But I'll clip it here. Then he also says that you see all those tributaries of streams coming down the mountains, how they all become the river. So what is the identity of the river, tell me? Yes, it's all a collection of streams coming down. Like that, you also have no real identity. Your identity lies in the self. You as water have identity. Not as the wave, not as the stream, not as the river. Water is the only reality there, isn't it? The name was given by you. River, ocean, and 5 oceans, all this is our imagination. Yes. Only water is the reality there. So also, only consciousness is the reality there. Your name, form, all superimpositions by your mind. Your sense of identity is uninvestigated. That is why you feel proud. So drop this pride. Tat Tvam Asi Shvetaketu. Like this it goes. Very beautiful way the father says. And finally now Shvetaketu gets the knowledge of Brahman and becomes a real rishi. That's the end of the story. It goes on like this. So 9 times he says, Tat Tvam Asi Shvetaketu. So very deep insight into the real nature of things. That is this entire Chandogya Upanishad is full of stories like this, very inspiring stories, one of which is Shvetaketa's story. So what we are studying in this text, same thing the father is telling his son in so many ways. You can watch story of Shvetaketu on Vivekvani. The entire piece is there. So the knowledge of this eliminates the conditioning factors of remoteness and limitation. Then the 27th verse. Upashanta Jagat Ji Shishya Acharya Ishvara Brahmam Swata Siddham Anadyantam Paripurna Maham Maha. I am by my very nature perfect, without beginning or end, complete, great, and freed from the error of world, individual, disciple, preceptor, and God. All of these are mental concepts. Please see. Now you say, oh, God is not mental concept. Your idea of God, think and see, is a mental concept. The essence of Godhood is not a mental concept. Consciousness is not a mental concept. But the popular idea of God, isn't it mental concept? Tell me. Over which we are fighting for centuries. My God is real, your God is not real. God is like this. As if we know everything about God. Check and see how that idea came up. Mental concept. The essence of what you're calling God is nothing but what is called Brahman. You don't even have to give it a name. It is consciousness. It's the essence of being. Right within you, shining in your heart, giving you the conscious experience from within. When it animates your mind, you get the conscious experience. When it animates your body, your vitality starts functioning. All your vital organs start functioning. So you are enlivened from within. But no. That's why you see all of this will fall. The error of world, individuality, discipleship, preceptor, that somebody is guru, somebody is God, and I am the disciple. All this delusion will fall with the dawn of real knowledge. Thakur used to say, that the guru tells the disciple, you please pay my fees before I give you Brahmagyan. Because after that you will say you and me are one. So that is what they are saying. Once you realize your true nature, there is no difference. There is no difference. But still, from our standpoint, we maintain a difference because that Purna Jnana has to happen. Isn't it? Until then, you maintain a difference, a kind of a respectable distance, as it were. But the essence we must understand. Only one thing is very nice, it is in Dakshinamurti Stotram. Ishvaro Guru Atmeti Murti Bheda Abhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Ishvara, the concept of Ishvara, Guru, God, all of them only indicate one. Murti Bheda. So the idea is this, that see what all that religion constitutes, it is being, they are throwing pure light on all that we hold as religious concepts. See, we have always been fighting over the superficials. Anywhere where there is difference, fight, argument, and this thing over any kind of conflict over religion, it is because we don't want to see the essence. There is only one thing which is being interpreted as by various religions as various things, isn't it? See, the simple concept of Shiva in Hinduism. So many ideas of Shiva are pervasive in the Indian subcontinent. Have you seen? And so many names of Shiva, so many aspects of Shiva. But they are talking of the same entity whom you have conceptualized as the great god of dissolution, Shiva. Dissolution of what? The popular idea is he dissolves the world, he causes pralaya. He dissolves your mind so that you enter pure consciousness. That is the actual concept of Shiva. Yes, that's why he's the ever auspicious one. If he was only causing pralaya and dissolving the world, why would you call him Shiva? He dissolves your mind. Many times we are quarreling over the concept of God. It's a concept. So it's mental. Concepts are in the mind, isn't it? So we discuss so much about mind. All that your mind tells you is due to your conditioning. It is made up many times. Yes. But does that mean then the popular concept of God does not exist? Does it mean that Shiva, Vishnu, do they don't exist? They all exist. They all exist as long as you are a Jivatman, an entity identified with a body and mind. There is also the Sagun Sakar aspect of Brahman, which you will intuit through a purified mind. So all deities exist. Yes, and all deities of all religions. This is how we should see it. Respect every religion. Every religion is true. God can manifest in 1,000 ways. When you can play so many roles in your own life, why can't God? Yes. So all deities are true. All concepts of God are true. This is what Thakur taught us, In fact, he saw it also, no? He saw visions of so many devatas, deities, and they all came and merged into his body. Yes? So you say everything is true. And that is why here they are saying that if I know my divine nature, then I will understand the essence of all this. Otherwise, if I don't realize the essence, no, there will only difference will persist. And we keep quarreling over the difference. Yes. So this is the mistakes we have made in the past, which should be corrected in the future, isn't it? This great grand philosophy of harmony, which Sri Ramakrishna gives us, is a saving factor in the modern world. Every religion is true, and every religion is a path towards that ultimate consciousness. Every deity, every method is to be respected and honored. And if you go to the essence of it, it will lead to the same state of God consciousness. So God manifests through all religions. He created different religions. Why? Because there are differences in our minds, no? So to make the paths easy, he made different religions, different methods, different technologies. So it's welcome, isn't it? So this kind of a freedom is to be given in religion. Where you give freedom, that will grow. And yet you have the science of all philosophies. You have the science of sciences. Brahma Vidya also. The essence of every religion, you can say. So bring everything into observation. And this is how we will understand. And we will see, when you have this kind of a background knowledge, you will play your role very well in the world. Isn't it? Without quarreling, without argument. So you see, that's how now he comes to the conclusion. Last verse is a eulogy in praise of Brahma Vidya. Lakshmi Dhara Kave Sukti Sharat Ambhoja Sambhritaha Advaita Makarandoyam Vidvad Bhringai Nipiyatam. It means, may this nectar of non-dualism, composed by the poet Lakshmi Dhara Kavi of autumnal lotus-like verses, be enjoyed by bee-like sages. It's a stuti, finally. Really, this knowledge is, the verses are like lotuses, isn't it? And in autumn, really during Sharat, how beautiful the lotus blooms. So it is carrying that honey, this Advait Makarand. And these verses are like lotuses, and let them be. So who will sip that honey? be like sages. Only the sage will understand the worth of these verses. This is what he's saying. And it has been composed by, he gives his name here, and this is the nectar of non-dualism. It is carrying very profound knowledge of the highest, and yet very sweet. See, where there is profundity, there will be a kind of surreal sweetness. Because, the more you dive into consciousness, the more you experience love. Yes, and love is always sweet. Yes, don't think, when you dive into consciousness, you are away from. That is because you are understanding love as emotion. You'll be away from all that, yes. But you will taste real sweetness. Because I told you, love, intelligence, awareness, these are all connected. The touch of awareness will give the touch of real love. And the touch of mind only gives sentiment and emotion. Please remember, they are two different things. In the spiritual life, emotion is to be converted into devotion. And it happens naturally. So the nature of emotion is, it is feeble, it is selfish, and it is unsatisfying. It keeps your mind in agitation. The nature of devotion is exact opposite. It is strong. It does not agitate the mind, it calms the mind totally. And it is of the essence of nectar, it is all fulfilling. So, how to convert emotion into devotion is the real intelligence. Yes. Because most of your energy, vital energy is invested in emotion. Now you must draw it out and convert it into devotion. And devotion is unbudging. Because you are seeing the ideal there, devotion is forever. Once devoted, forever devoted. And yet it doesn't have you're out of the clutches of sentimentalism, Sentimentalism will make you dogmatic. And finally, fundamentalism comes from all this. But real devotion will liberate you, liberates the mind. It shows you the essence. So the mystics of all religions have been all harmonious. They are the real mystics, those who have harmonized everything. Thakur used to say this, he is a real man who has harmonized everything. So this is what this knowledge will bring us. Deep inner harmony. As you sip the nectar of non-dualism, the glory of non-dualism is that it doesn't see differences. It sees unity. It sees the essence. It sees nectar. There you'll sip the nectar. And it is all satisfying. That is why. The non-dualistic philosophy, really it's the most comprehensive, direct insight into reality. And that's why it has been given in Hinduism, it is the highest level of Vedanta. And don't bring back the moaning of the mind. Oh, but how can I get that knowledge? You are already that. That is non-dual philosophy. So this will only help us, knowledge of this. I think we'll end it here. Time is up anyway. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.